A new study has just come out detailing the most reliable new cars you can buy for the money. How much money and how little money do you need to spend in order to get yourself into a reliable car? Is it as simple as just buying a Toyota or a Honda or a Subaru or something like that? Well, today we're going to dive into this. If you guys are excited, I haven't even looked at this yet. So I'm excited. I would be hitting the like button. So please hit the like button. I would appreciate that. Guys, it's my first face reveal since getting sick with some sort of flu thing. I hope you guys are all healthy and safe out there. It's also going to be like 30 degrees in Florida. It's gonna be snowing in like St. Pete and stuff in Tampa. Like what is happening? Is the world freezing over? Hashtag global warming. You guys know what it's all about. The most reliable new cars for the money. We're over at IC Cars. I'm typically in agreement with their studies, and we're going to find out if I agree with this study today. They have 25 models, which combine a low purchase price with a long lifespan, making them a value leader for new car buyers. All right, before we even get into this, let me know which car you are driving, how many miles it has on it, and how much money did you pay, or if you remember. So let's just clear the air here. On average, a new car costs about $46,000 to $47,000 and has an 11-year lifespan, or about $4,000 for each year of that lifespan. Now that's very averaged out. IC Cars analyzed the prices of about 9 million new cars sold in July through December 2025, and odometer readings of over 400 million used cars from its longest lasting car study, and the average list price of each model was compared to its expected lifespan in years to calculate the list price per year. IC Cars executive analyst Carl Brower, I've seen him at press events before. He says for buyers looking to maximize their ownership period while minimizing the cost of replacing a vehicle, they've identified which new models offer the longest lifespan at the lowest price. Here we go. Here are the numbers. Let's start with 25 Honda Civic Hybrid. Now, this one's this is a completely unknown, and the reason is the new Civic Hybrids came out a year and a half ago. Okay, so we don't know how reliable this car will be long term. Knowing that it's a Honda, it's going to be probably pretty good, and hybrids are pretty low maintenance overall. So it's probably going to be reliable, but I'm not sold on the Honda Civic Hybrid. It just hasn't been out long enough. There has been other generations of a Honda Civic hybrids, but those are completely different than the new generation that we have on sale today. All right, but I still wouldn't hesitate buying a new Civic Hybrid. I think they're fantastic. Ford Escape. Well, again, here's a vehicle that is canceled. All right. So I put no stock into it. Nissan Frontier. Guys, the Nissan Frontier has never really deviated much from its tried and true formula. It has a V6, naturally aspirated. It's a simple truck. This vehicle should last as long as you want it for. Okay. So no surprise that the Nissan Frontier is on the list. Mini hardtop 4-door. This was a surprise for me. Minis. Okay. Here's a mini story from when I was selling cars. I only sold one mini because I didn't work at a mini dealership, but we had a used mini and it was a convertible. I've never seen the base aftermarket warranty cost to add onto the car. The cost of it was more than the car itself. I've never seen that before. When you see things like that, that tells me that the car is going to have major problems, more than likely. And the insurance companies are protecting themselves. They're saying, hey, you're going to put a lot of money down. It was like $12,000 for the lowest amount of warranty. It was unreal. Now, the mini hardtop here, it's not a convertible. It probably is going to be more reliable than the convertible, but that's just something to consider. I really struggled to get my head around this being a top 25 reliable car. Chevy Trailblazer, maybe. Again, there's been different generations of Trailblazers out there. One medium size. Okay, the newest one's a really small car. The Trailblazer, is that the one built in Korea? If that's the case, then if this is yeah, I would not hesitate. I would probably go ahead and say that the Trailblazer is reliable. I think Chevy's made in Korea cars are going to be some of the more reliable models that they make. Another Mini, take it for what it's worth. Again, the hardtop 2-door and the hardtop 4-door are essentially the same car, just with different door configurations. Nissan Altima. Everyone likes to crap on the Altima, but they're everywhere out there. They're cheap, and they run forever with like no maintenance. Okay. Now, is it going to last longer than an Accord or a Camry? It seems like they do. Guys, right? Don't you see them everywhere? They've been beat to a pulp. The Altima's on the road and they're still running. Nissan Altima is an unsung hero. Okay, Nissan Rogue, often the same crowds that drive used Altimas. It's not that large of a jump for them to also to drive Rogues. Okay, and a Rogue and an Altima has pretty much the same engine transmission. Ford Ranger. I personally would never buy a Ford Ranger over the Nissan Frontier unless you're talking about like the Ranger Raptor and you want a fun toy. The Nissan Frontier, in my opinion, is going to be a much more reliable and more satisfying vehicle. That's just me. I'm wrong. I don't have the data that I see cars as sifting through. Jeep Compass. The Jeep Compass is, oh man, these things are so overpriced. I would never. Oh my gosh, look, now they're $26K. I mean, guys, look, you can see these things. A 26 model here is 23 grand. It's like 8K off of MSRP. All right. So yeah, maybe if you can get an 8K MSRP, that puts it would skyrocket it in the list. It's not worth 33K. It's worth like 23K or less. And so that would make it more reliable per dollar. So Jeep Compass here might be one of these vehicles that are just dirt cheap. Lexus IS 350. They're still making it. This is by far the most expensive vehicle we've seen on the list so far. It's the first luxury vehicle. We know it's the old 2GR V6, naturally aspirated, old 8-speed auto or 6-speed auto if you get the all-wheel drive. Like, these things are indestructible. This is a baby tank. All right, the Lexus IS. Like, they haven't changed it in forever, and it's a good-looking car. Toyota Tacoma. Now, keep in mind, when they're looking at old Tacomas for the data here, that does not mean the new Tacoma that came out 2 years ago is going to have the same reliability. The 2.4 turbo might be okay, but I've heard more issues with the 8-speed automatic on the Tacoma than anything. Nissan Frontier, in my opinion, is by far the most safe, and it's just better. It just drives better. It's more fun to drive. It has a bigger engine than its competitors. All right, so yeah, buy the Frontier over the Tacoma. Tacoma might hold its value better, but the Frontier you can get big discounts on, where the Tacoma you really can't. So get a Frontier and you'll thank me. I promise you. All right, Nissan Sentra. Again, a cut from the same cloth as the Rogue and the Altima. People bash Nissan and their ECVT, sorry, not ECVT, their CVT with belts and pulleys and its terrible reliability. Well, the numbers don't lie entirely, right? You can kind of I've been doing some gymnastics around some of these numbers. Nissan here has another car with a CVT that is really reliable for the money. Camry Hybrid. All right, yes, they've come out with a new generation. Camry Hybrids, keep in mind, you can get them for dirt cheap now. Look, Camry LE right here, 28K. I know this is average price, but I'm telling you, it's going to be even better deal when you get these things on discount. Okay, so 28K for a Camry Hybrid LE. LE has the most comfortable seat in the Camry lineup too. I swear, Toyota designed terrible seats for the Camry to save the Lexus ES. Like, I just don't understand why they're some of the worst seats in the industry in the Camry. And it gets worse when they put vinyl or what they call Softex on it. It's bad. Okay, so just get the cloth seats. They're a little bit more comfortable in the Camry LE, and it's dirt cheap, 60 miles a gallon. Not kidding. Car's amazing, and it is an easy recommendation. The Prius has become very expensive compared to the previous generations. Still very reliable. It's built in Japan. Like, I have no issues with it being on the list here. Honda CRV, very reliable. Again, when you look back, because again, they're looking at older cars too. The odometer readings of over 40 million used cars. So just keep in mind, they're looking at old cars that are also out there right now that are currently registered. Okay, there's a lot of old CRVs out there. Just keep in mind that the new CRVs with the CVT and the turbos are probably going to be pretty reliable, because the previous generation CRVs had that too, and those numbers are being factored in to get the CRV into the top 10. All right, so not really surprised to see the CRV so high. All right, and people put a lot of miles on their CRVs. That is for sure. Okay, I would still pick a CRV hybrid, even though it's not on the list. Maybe it is later. I don't know. Mazda 3 sedan. I've heard people driving Mazda 3 sedans 300,000+ miles, and it's crazy how many miles you can put on Mazda 3s. They're little bulletproof tanks. They are fantastic, long-lasting cars, and they're fun to drive. They're really simple, okay, in terms of powertrain, natural aspiration, 4 cylinders. Well, you can get them in turbo, but let's be real, the majority are naturally aspirated. And they typically come with a 6-speed automatic, really basic, bulletproof transmission. All right, so no surprise, Mazda 3. Hyundai Elantra, that's kind of a surprise, but Elantras are cheaper than Mazdas, so keep in mind, so that's a bang for your buck situation here. And keep in mind, this is expected lifespan. I haven't even got into this column. This column here is expected lifespan. On average, these cars are 11 years. The Nissan Frontier, again, trucks, wow, minis have a long lifespan. What? All right, the Nissan Frontier, over 12 years. Ford Ranger, 14 years. Okay, long time. Lexus IS, 17 years, more than a truck that we're seeing on this list. Tacoma, almost 16 years. Don't know about the new Tacoma, but the old Tacomas are tanky, indestructible. The V6 or the 4-bangers in them, just really awful to drive trucks, in my opinion. They're really uncomfortable and super industrial feeling, poor transmission logic and performance, but they're indestructible tools. That's how I feel about the new Nissan Frontier, except it's just more refined than the old Tacomas were. Anyways, let's keep moving. Camry, really long lifespan. Prius, long lifespan. CRV, long lifespan. Elantra, not that long, but they're so cheap that it's like, okay, we can roll with this. It's going to be reliable enough, and it's cheap. Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. You got to keep in mind, these things are built in Japan. So you're going to have good build quality and high quality components, and they are super cheap, and they last about a decade. Subaru Impreza. Okay, now they're hatchbacks only, but a Subaru is going to be a good buy for longevity, or at least the Impreza is. Honda Accord. We're lasting over a decade here with the Accord. It seems to be faring better than the Civic that we just talked about. Volkswagen Jetta. Guys, Jettas last a long time. A lot of people say Volkswagens are very unreliable, maybe some more than others, but the Jetta here is able to crank up the years and crank up the miles. All right, so Jetta, make it in the top 5. That's a surprise to me. Mazda 3 again. Okay, so they separated the Mazda 3 sedan and the hatchback. The hatchbacks, wow. Why are the hatchbacks outlasting the sedans by 3 years? I don't know. Maybe it's because enthusiasts have a love for the hatchback and they put more money into keeping them on the road. That's my theory. That is strange. Let's get into the top two now. Toyota Corolla. And I would put the Corolla Hybrid here too because, well, it has the Prius hybrid powertrain and Prius lasts a long time. Anyways, Corolla Hybrid I'd put right up in the list and not a surprise. And lastly, Honda Civic. Honda Civic is the king of reliable, affordable cars. Again, just keep in mind, the Civic's it has a new engine. As a new 2-liter as of like last year. They've had it with the CVT for a long time now, but this is a really good culmination of reliable, affordable cars. You got to do your research though, or just don't take it as gospel, because some of these models, they might have some big flaws in them, especially on the newer models. You might be fine, buying an older Civic or an older Corolla, you might not have much issues with them, but just keep in mind the track record for the cars throughout the history of them, especially in the last decade or so. These are the cars that are going to last the longest for the least amount of money. And I know that the top 25 list was dominated by small cars, right? They're very affordable, and if they're reliable, then it's just a cheat code for having your best bang for your buck reliable car. But what if you want a small crossover? Well, here's your small list. Mitsubishi Outlander. They're so darn cheap, okay? And they last a long time. CRV, Jeep Compass, Rogue, Trailblazer, Ford Escape. Don't know why the RAV4 is not on here. If the CRV is on here, why is not RAV4? Maybe they categorize the RAV4 in a bigger class. I don't know. Very, very strange to me. Okay, most reliable new midsize SUVs for the money. Keep in mind, this is largely tallying the old 4Runner with, what was it, the 1GR engine, the 4-liter V6. Now it has a turbo or a turbo hybrid. I don't know about that. Jeep Wranglers, they last a long time, but they cost a lot of money to stay maintained. So high maintenance costs, but it's apparently more reliable for the money than a Highlander or a Highlander hybrid, or any of these other vehicles. Honda Pilot, Pathfinder, Honda Santa Fe, etc. Okay. What if you want a full-size SUV? Well, I would pick an Armada easily. Tahoe or Suburban. Yeah, maybe with the V8, it can last a long time too. But I'm a big Armada fan, so I'd be going with the Armada in this case. But I like the new Armadas better actually than the old Armadas, just from a packaging standpoint. It's much more roomy for families. All right, but like older Tahoes, I wouldn't hesitate if you needed something like that in your life. All right, so if here are the small cars, if we take them out, okay, not a surprise. Not a surprise. We already covered that in the top 25. What about mid-size cars? Okay, well, no surprise. We kind of already covered these as well in the graph. Most reliable new mid-size trucks for the money. Well, again, keep in mind, they're seeing a lot of old Tacomas out there that run forever. It's not indicative of new Tacoma reliability. And the new Frontier is probably more reliable than anything else out on the road in this segment, and you can get them on huge discount, and they drive the best. So just go get yourself a Frontier. Most reliable new full-size trucks. Keep in mind, this is no longer true because they're seeing a lot of old Tundras on the road. The old Tundras with the 5.7-liter V8 would last forever. Okay, the new Tundras can't even leave the lot without being, their engine recall. Okay, so I would not trust a Tundra. That's just me. If you feel fine about it, then go buy yourself a twin turbo V6 Tundra, and the engine can fail after 20,000 miles. If you buy a new Tundra, get yourself an extended warranty on the powertrain, especially if it's a hybrid, because Toyota is refusing to recall the hybrids on those trucks, even though those are also having catastrophic engine failures. So do yourself a favor. Don't buy yourself a Tundra, a new one. if you're on the used market, go buy yourself an old V8 one. It'll last for as long as you want. All right. And I could probably say the same for a lot of these trucks. Just go get a V8 naturally aspirated, and it should last a really, really long time. Most reliable new hybrids, I mean, sort of. Okay. Ford Escape hybrid canceled. Highlander hybrid going to be canceled soon for the full EV version. Sonata hybrid, good car, good buy. Prius plug-in hybrid, good car, but pretty expensive. All right. Civic hybrid, great vehicle. Camry hybrid, great vehicle. Prius, I wouldn't give it great. The Camry and Civic are much better buys than a Prius, but a Prius is still a really, really good car for the money. All right. Should last a long time. So pretty much any hybrid you get out there is going to be a good, long-lasting, reliable car. It's crazy that there aren't that many, but the Escape hybrid, I think they discontinued it and they brought it back. Yeah, that's why this number's too low. But yes, anyways, I'm going to shut it down there. I will see you guys in the comments. Let me know which car surprised you the most. Which one are you going to be getting? If you need a truck, Frontier. If you need a car, I would say Mazda 3 if you don't want a hybrid. I would say if you want a hybrid, Camry hybrid or Civic hybrid. Simple as that. Thank you guys. Have a good day and peace out.